Alright, today's mission is we're going to replace the wiring for the marker lights up the top and the tail lights. At the moment, it's not badly done. They've got a plug here, but they've run it through the drawbar and they've taken it out here and put it along the outside of the drawbar, which I'm not a huge fan of.
So it's this wire here and black.
Yeah. And here's a junction box where this wire basically joins all of the old wiring, which is all white, as you can see here. And that comes up under here, goes into the chassis rail, and goes all the way down inside this rail here. And it must come up through the floor somewhere. I haven't quite found where, but it goes into, there's a unit there, which the lid folds up on. And it goes under there, and it pops out here into a joiner box, and then comes up into here. So basically you got a join here. Anything goes wrong in the chassis, you can't get to it. And then you just got your wiring going over these sharp edges and that here.
It's bad.
Which is probably okay. They don't move a lot, but I don't like it, so I'm just going to run a whole new cable, which I'll just get from behind you there. I bought 10 metres of new cable, which I'm just going to run on the outside of the rail, all the way down to that joiner box, and we'll join it there. And on the back here, any joints will be soldered and shrink wrapped, so there's just nowhere where things can really go wrong. But going through this framework, I'm going to have to drill through this framework, unfortunately, and run the wires through there, because you can't go behind it.
Wouldn't that weaken it?
Not really, it's only a small hole. You can't go behind it because you put a lump in this panel, and you can't really go on top of it because that's where your outer panel goes. There's no real room like there was in the old runs.
Could there be up there, that little...
No, you got the same problem.
Oh.
So basically we're going to come up through here, hole there, we'll do two of them. Then one wire will come out here, then the other wire's got to go through this area and pop out about here. So first thing I'm going to do is drill some holes, run some wires, and then we'll run them together down through here, and then probably around here somewhere we'll just splice it into one wire that'll go all the way up to the front. So I'm just going to start drilling some holes now. Oh, and also the way they used to do it is they'd earth it to the body of the Caravan or the chassis, the wiring. But what I'm going to do is just earth it through the car. So there's no separate earths or anything like that. Alright, I'll get the drill out and drill some holes. Alright, I've drilled these holes where I'm going to run the wire. I didn't bother recording it because it's not very interesting to watch. But they're only, this is 5-core cable, but it's really thin. It's a lot thinner than what it used to be. So I only needed a 7.5mm drill bit to go through. So I decided to drill through the rails and that because it's 7.5's not too much of a major. So I'm just going to run this now. Hopefully it goes all right. And then we'll put a join in it. Get it through. Not too concerned about sharp edges here. This has got good protection on the outside of it. Just go through this one here. Through there, and then this one can go down through here. It just keeps it nice and tidy.
You made 2 holes.
And we've got the other one to come through as well. that so it doesn't scrape any of the stuff off. And then we're going to run it through this back panel because we're never going to get access like this, you know. Having the back panel off makes life a lot easier. And then we'll do a join sort of around here-ish. Hang on, I might just pull a little bit out.
So it doesn't have a bend in it.
We don't quite need quite that much. Although I did get a 10 metre roll with it, I think we'll probably use it. Okay, that's about sweet there. And then we've just got to like to normally coil a bit up and behind the rear panel, so probably about there I reckon will be sweet. That one?
And you've still got heaps left.
Yeah, we'll get through it though. So this one is same thing. I wonder if I should run this one from the front. Might do that, might be easier. Okay, I'll run it from the front. Alright, so this is the joiner box. So even though I don't intend to use zip ties, that will give me an idea of length. So if I went like that, that should be plenty. Then we're going to go this way. Like I say, there are only little holes that you need to drill.
It's probably good so you don't weaken the stuff.
Yeah. Just going to pull it through like that so you don't scrape on the edges of the holes and start scraping the protective layer off the wiring, but that there is a nice and loose, about sweet there. Same thing through here. Just to keep it tidy really. We'll pin it up properly like we did with the gas line. Tell you what, I'm going to be a bit tight here.
Oh.
Oh
God.
We might not have enough. That would be bad. Okay. All right. We'll come back in a sec. All right. Hopefully we've got enough. I think we're just going to be okay. Hopefully. Sweet, I think. All right, one more, mate, just up behind there, if you want to shoot over there. We'll come up through here. Like so. Up through these two. That really is probably about right by the time you leave a bit of spare stuff in behind. Okay. What we need to do now, we've established that we've got our lengths correct up here because we want a bit of spare stuff inside the panel. But now I really want to make these two wires into one. So we're going to have to shrink wrap and solder it. So I'm just going to mark sort of roughly where I want that joint to be, which is going to be about here-ish. And then I can pull the wires down and I'll get the bench tidied up and do it, set up a soldering iron and we'll do it on the bench. This is where I want to join this wire, and because I want to solder and shrink wrap it, I'm going to have to cut them both in half so I can get the shrink wrap on there. And I want to try and stagger them too, if I can.
Cut to the red wire.
So we'll do this one here. That one, and we're going to end up putting sort of 3 of them together really. That one, and not that one because that's one I'll cut. That one like that, cut a bit of shrink wrap. Put that on there. And then put all these together, those two together first. Put that one together. Like so. And then what we're going to do is grab the soldering iron. And see if we can get that nicely soldered up. Go underneath it as well, put plenty in there. Okay, so that's a good join there. Be a good reliable join. Now we're just going to let that cool off a little bit so the shrink wrap doesn't melt on top of it. Put the shrink wrap over the top of it, like so. And go heat gun.
Would you want a lighter?
I prefer the heat gun. And we'll see how that's shrinking it down. Super reliable join. Right, I'll do a couple more of those. I won't record all of them. And we'll see how we go. I'm just finishing off this last wire now. Just going to put some shrink wrap on it. I've tried to stagger the joins as best I can. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a bigger piece of shrink wrap on, probably sort of that long, maybe too big, I might have to tape it, we'll see. Take that off, no longer required.
Why does the solder hold?
Because it's just been using it on the torch. Excuse me, mate, I'm just going to run this down. Double check all the joints. Looks pretty good to me. Got all the right colours together. It'd be a bit of a fail if I didn't do that. Hopefully that's not too big and it will shrink down. Excuse me, I'll just grab that heat gun there. There we go, look at that. Could be a little bit too big, but it'll, come up. fun. Okay. So effectively, we've now turned this into one loom, which we can put back in. We'll put it back in now. So we wanted our join to be about there. So obviously the longer one of the two is going to be the left-hand side of the caravan, so we'll run that out there. Okay, so that should be about there. Let's just run this one through, this will give us an idea. And we just know that this is going to be reliable. Nothing worse than unreliable lights with lots of joins and you're wiggling the plug and tapping the light and trying to make it work. So I plug them in every time and they work. Right, this way hopefully for the last time. Out through there. Alright, so that's cool. This one. Okay. So down under here we've sort of got our join where we want it to be and you can't even really notice it. So we'll just run this one through. Last time, hopefully. In fact, if I run it through there, I might be able to pull that whole thing in one go. No, can't see it. Okay. Let's see if we can get it through. Done. Put my head on the way and put that one through there. And we'll get it through this chain link, which whoever welded that on was a good idea. Nice. And it should go right through. Done my job right up to this joiner box here. Let's put a little bit more through there. Okay, we just got to tidy up this junction box now. So I've run the wiring, which will come in through here and join up. That is the 12-volt wiring for the Caravan, which used to run through the drawbar, which I don't know, it doesn't have any battery lights that I can see. So this here is the old wiring. So we're just going to undo that and just take it right out. We'll just connect up the new stuff and then we'll go and just test it and make sure that it works. And we might just do a tidy up on it tomorrow.
Okay.
But we can do a test today.
Okay.
So now, this is this box which I stupidly thought was some sort of data box, which clearly it's not. It's actually really tidy for the wiring, so we can pull all this old stuff out of here, which is now surplus to requirements. Some earth there that really does nothing now. Now. Alright, just going to have to give this some thought as to how I do that. Okay, I'll just take a minute. Cut it there. I'm just going to cut away this old tail-lat wire in there. And we're just going to leave this 12 volt because that's going to be useful. I'm going to run this cable.
The new one that we just put in.
The new one that we just put in, that's the one. Through there, which will then go through there.
That looks like hose, those hose clip weird things.
Yeah, that's what that's going to do, is that's going to close that up nicely. And we're just going to keep that separated there, because don't need that at the moment. So I'm going to just strip this off here. Just going to put my glasses on because I'm getting older and I can't see. Strip these, join them up, and then hopefully it will all work. I'm sure it will. This means we've got modern colours too. Okay. So you notice they're all the same colours as the wiring to the drawbar. So pretty easy, we'll just screw these in. And then we'll drop it down and we'll test it.
With a test light.
With a test light, because we don't have tail lights for it yet. But we test it with a test light, we know that...
What tail lights are we going to put on it?
LEDs.
Not the original ones?
No. Well, the original ones, one of them's okay, and the other one had a pretty bad experience with a retaining wall.
They had a scrap.
They did on the retaining wall one. Hence the reason why I got a damaged back panel on this Caravan. Oh, look at that. Somebody's written nice letters all on here. They're not quite right in their colour scheme, but they've put nice letters on there. Alright, I've rewired this plug to what I'm used to. I'm not sure why they had it wired that way. I'm sure there was a reason for it. I'm just going to test it now. One thing that's not going to work is these front marker lights up here, because we've disconnected the wiring. I checked them yesterday, they do work, but obviously this panel's damaged, so this is going to come off, and when it does, I'm going to run new wiring down through here and put it into our wiring loom, and we'll also put new lights on it. So they're not going to work at the moment, but we can test the rest of them. So we're going to just do this method with a battery, which I use for trailers and that. So with these trailer plugs, the earth is always the middle one. So that's on now. We'll try that, which is either going to be stop.
It's sizzling.
Yeah, that's going to be stop or brake light. So come around the back. Test light. Hopefully this is going to work. So the white, oh, that's hot. I'm going to turn that off.
Oh yeah, that's really hot. That's really hot.
Cut that bit out, mate. Okay, you don't want those two touching each other, that's what happened. Okay, you can record now.
There it is.
Oh, here we go. Okay, so that was a bit hot because I had the wrong things touching each other, so that, we go like that, 12.1 volts, so that's working.
Oh.
So at the moment we've got the earth and the positive hooked up, so we don't want those two touching each other because that would be bad. And we're going to try the stop lights on here again.
They're not touching each other.
So we're going to make sure everything's out of the way because we don't want the earth, which is the white, and the red, which is the stop light, touching each other. So I'll put that on there.
Watch for the green. There you go.
Okay, so that's good. All right, just stay there, and I'm just going to go and swap it. I'll come around actually, I'll show you. So we've got the lid off at the moment, but basically when you look at these, earth's the middle, the outside two are indicators, the inside two are brake and tail light. Now we're just, because I've got the lid off I can tell, so we've already done the stop lights which are red. So now we're going to try the tail lights and we'll just quickly go on, which are brown around the back. So we want to keep those separated. Normally I'm testing these when the lights are actually on. And we've got 12 volts there. Okay, so we want to keep those two separated. Same on this side. Earth there. It's hard because these wires are so small. Earth. And then we'll go brown one.
Hey.
Boom. That's working. Okay, I'll just go and swap. We're going to do right hand indicator now, which is the green one. So earth up our white. Go with our green, which should be all lit up.
Is it working?
Oh,
Huh?
no.
No.
Nothing?
Nothing. This is blank air.
Okay, so we've got an issue with our right hand indicator. Alright, let's try I'll try the left hand indicator.
So,
Left hand indicator is always yellow. Hopefully that works. Yes, it does.
yellow on that side's cut off, Dad.
Yeah, I cut it off because we don't need it because it's a left hand indicator and it's on the right hand side. Okay, I think that's an earth issue because that was,
Was that not working either?
it just worked a second ago. No, I think it's the earth out the front, so I'm pretty confident. I'll just double check that out.
While he's doing that,
Okay, the earth on the, from our battery to the trailer plug wasn't right, so I've just put this on again. And that's good for the left-hand indicator. So let's just try the right, because I was pretty confident that should have been okay. Hopefully it's not going to prove me a liar, but we will see. Okay, so we've got earth and green wire. Isn't working. Alright, I'm going to sort that one out tomorrow. I don't know why that's not happening. I bet you it is that wire on there again. Okay, that's tomorrow's job. Okay, look, I'm not sure why that's not working, but everything else is working except that right-hand indicator, so I'm just going to trace that through, and we'll have a go at that one tomorrow. Right, and just while we're here, somebody who watched one of the videos asked what sort of compressor we have. That's it there, Big Bertha. It's a huge thing. I think it's like 60s or 70s vintage. Heaps of air, but it's just massive.
Really good.
It is, but with modern spray guns and that, you just don't need anything that big. It is good if you're using, I don't think there's anything there that will tell you what sort of compressor it is. But you don't really need anything that big for spray guns anymore, but if you're using like cut-off wheels, die grinders and that, this is really good.
We also made this custom for it.
We did make the cage for it, yeah.
So the belt wouldn't
Cut somebody's hand off. Alright, sweet. Well, we'll leave it for tonight and we'll come back to this thing tomorrow and I'll try and figure out what's going on with that right hand indicator.
I think if you are going to get a compressor, I reckon it's better just to get one of them, like off what?
Well, this one's to run a workshop, but
Yeah.
you can just get one of the smaller ones, they're fine. Sweet, alright. Alright, I've been mucking around with this, it's the next day by the way, but I've been mucking around with this wiring during the day. I couldn't record it because my cameraman was at school. But all this stuff does work. The green wire, which I was having issues with, it turned out that the wire that I used to test, which I run from a car battery to the plug, was faulty, so I sorted that out. Now everything works. And just down the front here, the wiring did run down the inside of the drawbar here, so I've taken that off because I don't like it. I prefer it to go through the drawbar. I've run it from here.
That's a bit of an arc.
Yeah, well, that's spare cable. Just in case this gets broken, you've got spare cable. And it runs into this junction box, which I really like. I thought it was a data box, but it's not. It's just a junction box for wiring. But it means if something goes wrong, you can just put new wiring from here to here, rather than having to, replace a lot more. So I've tidied that up. The marker lights don't work, but when we replace the front panel, then I'll replace those as well. And good news, our new panels are all done, and I've picked them up from Ulrich Aluminium this weekend. We're going to start replacing the outside panels on the Caravan. So all that's really left to do is just rivet it up. The only rivets I've got left are these massive things which are way overkill for the job, but it's all I've got. So I'm just going to run round and quickly pin those up now, which I can just record us doing that and we're done. Will be another project ticked off the list. These are so overkill, and they're a little bit hard to eject too. Oh, that's a big one there. This is all probably a bit overkill, but at least I know that it's going to be reliable all the time. Right. starting to get a bit busy in here now. Hopefully,
See there?
that's all right. The trigger's just got, trigger for the rivet gun just got wound up in the water hose. You can see this is all starting to get a wee bit tidier now. I will get some smaller clips just to hold this brake line in place. Okay, a couple more and we are done. That had a jamming sound to it, hopefully it hasn't. Okay. Really wanted that brake line to get up a bit there. Quite a few here just to try and keep it as tidy as I can. And a couple here and we are done.
Last one.
Last one, mate, and then we'll just do a quick recap. So the way we've got it,
That's
bit crooked, yeah I know, but that's just that zip tie in the way, but we'll sort that out. You're getting as fussy as your dad, mate. Basically now the way we've done it is if we have any issues with the lights, it's either here or here, because everything from here back is soldered and shrink wrapped, so effectively it's just made it into one loom. We will tidy that up. I'll tidy that with a zip tie shortly. And everything runs on the outside of the rail all the way through, up through here into the back. It's probably a little bit tight there. Now the scary thing, of course, is once this rear panel goes on, there's no access to this. This is why I didn't want any joins inside this panel. The only thing that worries me a little bit is possibly sharp edges where you go through here. But with the old style, it had that anyway, which was probably worse. So I don't think that'll be an issue. There's not going to be. There's still plenty of movement in there. It's, you know, the drill, the hole size I put in is well bigger than what's that. Bigger than the wire that's running through. So it's nice and free. So hopefully it shouldn't. We shouldn't get any cutting through or shorting out. So done. We're going to call that another job ticked off the list. Sweet.